Hello, USA. Welcome to Free or D, that's Live Free or Die, and I'm your host, Sean, Avenging America, one podcast at a time. Today, I want to cover the worst kind of people, real scumbags, and by scumbags, I mean Keith Olbermann and Michael Moore. Now, you're probably thinking, Olbermann, he's that pretentious prick from television, and Michael Moore's that douchebag that looks like the Tootsie Pop owl on Crank. That's all true, however, I wasn't going there. I'm actually talking about the things that their sick and twisted minds would have the kahunas to tweet in the wake of Texas reopening. As you know, Texas has decided to open everything 100% and remove the government-enforced mask mandate. Once news broke, losers like Olbermann and Moore took to Twitter to show just how ugly the left is. Michael Moore had a series of tweets. Texas, we hear you. You didn't want to be part of our electrical grid, and now you've removed your mask mandate and are allowing large crowds to gather. We hear you. COVID is a hoax, so you don't need our precious vaccine. We'll send it to people who are saving lives by wearing masks. Okay, listen. Texas has been wise to maintain some electrical independence. I think the Mr. Owl is under the impression that all of Texas operates their own independent grid. That's not true. The Panhandle and I think El Paso are not part of the Texas independent system. So sorry about you, Mike. The Texas government isn't saying COVID is a hoax. They're not saying anything's a hoax. They're saying it's up to people to decide how restrictive they want to be with their own behavior. They aren't forcing people into restaurants, movie theaters, or shopping malls. They are simply recognizing that citizens are smart enough to make their own decisions. They can make up their own minds. And this is what drives left-wing nutjobs like Moore crazy. How dare you excuse yourself from groupthink? You must suckle propaganda from the liberal media teat. What else we got? Second one. Yes, we must and will find a way to vaccinate the poor and people of color in Texas. To Texans who say, hey, it's not me, it's the governor. Well, then impeach and remove him. We're tired of this. Don't mess with Texas. Happy to oblige. Here, we clearly see the disgust for white working class. Mike, we're tired as well. Tired of ignorant asshats like yourself who tell Americans to stay at home and don't go to work while you live spaciously in your elitist bubble. 3, by the way, Houston is the first city in the country to record the presence of all the new variants of the coronavirus. The rest of us must find a way to protect ourselves from the policies and politicians of Texas. Just to be clear, you mean to tell me that they've had mask mandates, they had capacity restrictions, and they still managed to get all the strands? Your statement is only further evidence that restrictions aren't working. You literally just proved Texas's point for them, you dope. My favorite, are you ready? Texas is no longer majority white. The 57% majority is Latinx and Black and Asian and Native American. So let's do everything we can to help that majority remove the bigots and ignoramuses from office. It's killing them and it's killing us. It's just moron. So let's get this straight. You just listed off all the reasons that Texans are stupid, and then you said that whites are the minority there. Is that what you're doing? You see, this is where the left really shows who they are. Through this collection of tweets, he's basically said, I'm a liberal elitist. You poor and non-whites are too stupid to think for yourselves and must submit to my superior intellect. So which one is it, Mike? Are they white bigots or are they ignorant minorities? Make up your mind. This guy's a loser. Now, for the second asshat, Keith Olbermann. This guy really sucks the bag. We're just going to lay them all out. Here we go. Why are we wasting vaccinations on Texas if Texas has decided to join the side of the virus? Apparently there's teams. Mass murderer, this said of the Texas governor. What I wrote here was a question. If the authorities in Texas are clearly and belligerently siding with the virus against humanity, why are we sending the vaccines there now? Vaccinations cannot, by themselves, overcome a governor advocating for mass suicide. You see, Keith Olbermann is a dumbass. He can't stand freedom. Do you hear that, Texas? All of you in Texas, the Democrats hope to flip your state. And this is what they think of you. These are their true colors. Liberals think they're better than you. They think they are smarter than you. In Keith Olbermann's eyes, you being allowed freedom is equal to mass suicide. You aren't willing to submit to their control, and that drives them crazy. I said Keith Olbermann needs to shut his pie hole. I say to the good people of Texas, do what you want. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask, do whatever works for you. Tell people like Olbermann to go get some Starbucks and spill it on their crotch. What a loser.